Hello, my name is Sue Pruitt, and welcome to my art studio. Today I'd like to show you a technique on painting a water drop. It's not that difficult. One thing that you do need to remember is each application of the paint should be transparent in order to see what's underneath. That is what creates the illusion, is seeing through the water drop. And when you finally put that nice sparkle of highlight on it in the end, is when it really comes to life. In the beginning, you're just building the form to create, the dimension of the water drop. The piece I chose was, I just found a piece in my studio, and it's right here, and it's got a red and green apple on it, and you might be able to see the water drop on there. It's a large water drop, and I wanted to point that out to you because you wouldn't normally want to put large water drops, that overshadows an object. But I did need to put this large size on there so you could see it under the camera. If it was too small, you wouldn't be able to see it, see what I was doing. But when you're putting your water drops on, remember that. Don't make them so large and overpowering that it overtakes your painting. And when people look at it, it's just like, wow, look at those nice water drops. The colors I use are darker values of my object. So I have darker reds, darker greens. I have some warm white. I also have some Indian yellow. So the colors that you would use are darker values of the object where you want to put your water drop on. So pick out a piece and paint along with me. First thing you're going to do is you're going to draw on your water drop. This is when I use a chalk pencil or a regular pencil, and this is something that you can practice, till you get a good shape that you like. It erases easily. You can wipe it off with water, but get yourself used to just drawing on a water drop shape. But just a corner load on my flat brush. And one thing you have to remember painting water drops is everything needs to be transparent. When you put this color on, you want to put it on very transparently so that you can see through it. I'm just using water in my brush. And you have to think of your light source. Obviously on this apple, my light source is coming from the upper right. Therefore, I'm going to put a cast shadow on the lower left. And I would go all the way underneath and about halfway up and around. And I need to just really make sure that that is transparent, it's not too heavy. This little mop brush, and I'm just softening little edges. Now, it's a little harder to do this if you're not using an extender. But problem is if I use extender now, I'm going to wipe off the water drop. The extender's going to wipe off the chalk. So the first time I go around, I don't want to use the extender. Put a dark area, and this is a green. The object is green underneath. So I've got this darker value green. Let me just put a little bit of that in there and see if that just a little darker. Now, acrylics do dry darker, so you do have to wait for that stage where it's dry. So I've got just a little bit of green in there. Funny thing about water drops is at this stage what you're doing, you're building up the value. When it looks like a water drop is on that final stage, when you do just a little flicker of light, this is what I'm doing now, is I'm creating the shape and the form through light and dark values. And then when you put that sparkle of light, it all comes together. The next thing is I'm going to put a little bit of a Indian yellow in this lower left. Now that's where the refracted light is sitting in there. It's trapped. It can't go through the object, so it's illuminating the water drop. Reason I'm doing the Indian yellow is it's going to add a little bit of intensity, a little warmth in there, and really make this show up quite well. So after I put that on, then I'm going to come into a little bit of the warm white. If you don't have warm white, you can use titanium white. Remember this, I have to be very careful that I don't use too much paint at this stage, because every stage is important that you can see through each stage as it develops. It's going to be like an oval shape at the bottom. Just illuminates a little bit. That was just enough value on there so that I can still see it, but I haven't, gotten it real heavy. And now I can use my extender medium. And when you do use extender medium, you're going to put the tiniest bit on. It's as if you were to moisten it with water first. It shouldn't look puddly at all, but this is going to let me do some blending in the corner of my brush to set this dark in on that upper right side. Now remember, you do have to build this up slowly. And also remember, it's going to dry a little darker. I will build this up maybe 2 or 3 times before I go on to another value. And if you do rinse out your brush in water, make sure that you dip your brush back in some extender medium. Go back to the red again. Increase my shadow. A little side load of this naphtha red. I'm going to pick up a little bit of the burnt sienna. It's going to make this a little darker. It's also going to tone it down. Now see, this area is moist with the extender, so I've got a little bit more time this time to play around with it. Time to blend. Take my little mop brush and I'm just going to soften out the outer edges. I don't want to really touch into here where my shadow is, just around the outside. Just going to straighten it out a little bit on the inside. I want to keep some of these red streaks in here, so if I start to lose them, I'm actually going to take the chisel of my brush and pull some more of these streaks, because what's going to make this appear transparent is being able to see exactly what's underneath the water. And if I get rid of all the streaking, then that's going to, break down the illusion. Come back with some more Indian yellow. And this is already a transparent color, so if you can use the transparent colors, that helps part of this process. And I'm building up that lower left again. Coming with just the tiniest bit of white on there. It's a warm day, my paint's starting to dry up a little bit. Oh, there, now you can see that. Went ahead and put on the extender. Make sure that before you apply that extender again, it definitely has to be dry, like a hair dryer. Heat it, because what will happen if it's not dry, you'll go to put your extender on and it will just pull everything off if that's not thoroughly dry. Just going to start at that upper right again. And this time I'm going to make smaller areas, like think about pyramiding within a smaller size. So the first values we put down there are widest in size. And then as we want to see all of the values that we have in here. So these ones, you can either go down to a smaller brush, or you can just try to get it within a smaller area. Darker red, cast shadow. This time I'm going to make it just a little bit darker with some more blue. I'm going to try to keep it just right up underneath. Okay, this time I'm going to pick up a little bit of Indian yellow plus a little bit of that warm white. Mix those together. Maybe that'll make that warm white a little bit more transparent. There we go. Now I wouldn't normally put this large of a water drop on this apple, but in order for you to see it underneath the camera, it has to be quite large. Now I will have to dry this again, the hairdryer. Now as you can see, the water drop's really starting to take on some form, and what it's missing is, I think, a little darker value of the cast shadow, a little lighter of this refracted light in here. Then the next step would be to dry it after that, and also come back and put on some little sparkles. So I'm coming back with my warm white plus a little bit of the Indian yellow. And I'm going to do this within a smaller area, just right there on the edge. Then I'm going to a little darker cast shadow. Now that's going to be just right up against underneath that drop to lift it. So I'm going to have to turn this and get you a better close-up of that angle. Went down to a smaller brush also, so I can get a side edge of that. I will dry this again and put on the sparkles. I'm going to pick up just the tiniest bit of this warm white, work it into my brush, both sides, and then kind of come up on the tip again so you can, not twisting, you don't want to twist a liner brush, just come up on the tip. And then I'm going to put, this is going to follow the shape of the object. So this shape of this water drop is a little elongated at the top here. So this is I'm going to make this one just a little elongated, following the shape. It's not right on the edge, it's off the edge just a little bit. And then the ones down here, I make them two little dots, and they don't have to be, I wouldn't want them exactly the same size, look like two little eyeballs looking at you, but one I'll make a little bigger, and the one maybe I'll make just a little longer. But that's what really makes them look like a water drop, as you can see. First you have to build the form. Then you come back and put these little sparkles in. And there you go. Get a close-up of that for you. Can't get too close because it camera fuzzes out.